This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Missy Kohler. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. News 25 is also brought to you by Silver State Health, Pahrumps exclusive pediatric care clinic. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Welcome to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler, and today is Friday, April 30th.
It's Friday. Well, police were busy last night looking for individuals involved in a reported stabbing on Pahrumps South Side. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies are investigating the circumstance surrounding a reported stabbing last night. It all began when a clerk at Horizon Market reported that an individual had entered the store with blood on his clothing, reportedly stabbed in his back. The individual left shortly afterwards in a black SUV. Deputies, investigators, and Nevada Highway Patrol were able to catch up to the individual at Desert View Hospital, where they transported themselves to the emergency room. The individual allegedly told police that there was a mutual fight and the other individual involved may have been stabbed as well. Nye County Sheriff's deputies went to an address on Mans Road where they searched the home and surrounding area for another suspect involved in this altercation. The individual was not located at that time. If you have any information, you're urged to contact the Nye County Sheriff's Office at 775-751-7000. You can remain anonymous.
After a 14-month hiatus due to COVID-19, limited visitation will resume tomorrow for the Nevada Department of Corrections. The doc says they recognize the importance of the support each family provides to incarcerated individuals. Not only does that connection help offenders cope with their current situation, but also promotes a strengthened, healthy family cohesion and leads offenders to a more successful transition back into the community. Visitation will be limited and visitors must already be on the approved list. Visitation will be rolled out in phases. The first phase will require all visitors be screened prior to entry, including temperature checks and a Binax Now rapid test to verify they are negative for the COVID-19 virus. Other protocols include all visitors must wear a face mask that covers the mouth and nose at all times. Offenders will be limited to 2 visitors per visit. Visitation will be at limited capacity. Visiting hours will vary at each institution. All visitors must be 5 or older. No physical contact will be allowed during visitation, and 6-foot social distancing guidelines will be enforced. Visitors will be separated from offenders by acrylic partitions. All visiting stations will be disinfected between sessions, including the use of electrostatic sprayers. Sanitation stations will be available at all visitation centers. After 30 days, if an institution has reached 75% vaccination rate, it will move to phase 2, which will have fewer restrictions and larger visiting capacities. Once an institution reaches 80% of offenders vaccinated, allowing for up to 10 days to review data and ensure low levels of COVID-19 positive cases, it will move to phase 3, which removes the restrictions for the complete list of policies and procedures. Or to schedule a visit, go to ndocvisitation.com.
Well, the Pahrumps Balloon Festival isn't the only big event in town this weekend. The Wild West Extravaganza is also underway. This year, it's happening at the Pahrump Valley Historical Museum on Basin Avenue.
We're down at the Pahrump Valley Museum, and starting this year, this is going to be the new home to the Wild West Extravaganza. You know, it started out over by Saddle West, then it went from there to Petrick Park, and now it's going to be at the museum, and this is going to be the new permanent home of the Wild West Extravaganza. As you can see behind us, we moved all the buildings down there. The buildings are going to stay there permanently, so we can start adding around it and around it. This weekend, everything is free. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 9 till 7. Probably quit a little bit earlier Sunday, but we have a lot of vendors, food vendors, and we have the 4-H club, we have the explorers here, we have search and rescue doing their corn, and a lot of really, really good vendors. And there's going to be a lot of static things. You know, we have people from BLM that'll be here to answer questions. We have a little radio station here, and it's going to be a very nice weekend. Two of the exciting things that we've never had before at the Wild West is the Civil War fellas. They actually have their Civil War tents back there, and once they set the tents up, they're staying there all night, right and through, and they'll be doing Civil War reenactments. Then right down the center road here, we're going to have the gunfighters here. So if you haven't seen that before, plus we have a blacksmith that's going to give you lessons on how to make horseshoes and things like that. The melodrama is here. You know, we put the tent up, and I got to watch them rehearse 2 or 3 times. The name of the play is Money in the Bank, or It's All in Your Vault. If you've never seen one of the plays that they put on, it's professional. And you get to throw popcorn at them, and they have I think, let me see here, their show times. Friday at 5, Saturday at 12, 5, Sunday at 12. And we got the nice big tent up to keep everybody out of the shade. So, you know, I think it's going to be an exciting weekend. It's about time we all got to go do something, and it's kind of what you call feast or famine. So we're at the feast this weekend.
Thanks so much, Ski. And this is the first show that the McCaslin family will be holding without Carlton, so it's definitely in his memory. So go down there and support everybody. We'll be right back after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Thanks for being with us tonight. The FDA is about to propose a ban on menthol-flavored cigarettes. U.S. unemployment falls to a new pandemic low, and Amazon sales surged 44% in the first quarter.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, a huge move in the tobacco industry. The FDA will propose a ban on menthol-flavored cigarettes. Tobacco companies are likely to fight back. Altria, the parent company of Marlboro, just reported a decline in revenue as cigarette sales slow. Checking the economy, GDP rose 6.4% in the first quarter as consumers spent more money coming from the government. The number of Americans filing for unemployment fell to a fresh pandemic low of 553,000 people seeking unemployment checks. And the National Association of Realtors report pending home sales rose a robust 1.9%. Amazon is reporting amazing earnings and profit. The company is making money hand over fist during the pandemic as Americans order an abundance of items online.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks, Angela. Well, we continue to hear a lot about COVID-19 variants, but should we be concerned? And how effective are the current vaccines against these newly emergent variations of the disease? We sat down with Dr. Rosha McCoy, Senior Director of the Association of Medical Colleges, to get her take on the situation.
I think the reality is that they are somewhat of a concern, but they are to be expected with viruses, right? So viruses change over time because we have so much of the COVID-19 virus circulating in communities in the United States. We see that there are changes going on, and that's basically what these variants are. But what we know is that so far, all the vaccines seem to be working against these variants. So it's very important for people to know that the best way to fight against the variants is not so much to focus on the variants, but to get vaccinated. What we know so far is that some of the variants do seem to be more transmissible, so more infectious. That is true. Some of the early data suggests maybe not. The severity is still being reviewed by the CDC. They have not said that the variants are causing more severe disease. I think the fact that we're seeing it in younger people is because more older people are vaccinated now, right? And younger people are out and about and are more susceptible to infection. So I don't know that we think there's anything special that's making these variants cause disease in younger people, but it's because they're not vaccinated. They were not in the initial phase of vaccination. The good news is that right now we have vaccines that work against all the variants. And so when you think back to where we were last year at this time, we didn't have any vaccines, right? That doesn't mean, I want to make sure I emphasize that COVID-19 is a very serious illness. Whatever variant you get, it's still a very serious illness, and people should try to avoid it as much as they can. So it's really important for people to kind of focus on what's important. We want to answer everyone's questions, and the variants I think do cause people to ask questions, which is very reasonable. But really the focus should be on trying to decrease the amount of virus and focus on vaccines.
It's going to be a busy weekend at Tales of Nye County. The Pahrump Animal Welfare Organization is holding one of its 2 annual yard sales. We dropped by yesterday to check it out, and while they weren't officially open for business just yet, lots of people were already taking advantage of the deals.
We're having a yard sale, as you can see, a huge yard sale to fund our spay and neuter programs. We're with Tales of Nye County. And last year we did over 1,200 animals spay and neutered, and I'm sure we're going to pass that this year. So in order to raise funds, we hold yard sales twice a year. We are open Friday and Saturday, 7 to 6 p.m. And Sunday, we're having nothing over $1 sale, and that will be from 8 to 1 on Sunday.
Ewan says last year the 2 yard sales combined brought in about $15,000, much needed money that funds their free spay and neuter program.
It's incredible. It's so much work. We work year round on it. We never stop. We have a Connex, the 40-foot Connex we fill up, a 2-car garage, and then we all have stuff at home. So, yep. We work continuously year-round, and we put them on twice a year.
If you've never been to a Tales of Nye County yard sale, well, this isn't your typical backyard sale. This is a big sale, and Ewan says you'd be amazed at what you might find.
Well, I think people should expect the biggest yard sale they've ever seen. We have out front, down by the Connex, and the back has furniture. So we have a lot more than you can see from the road. So look around, there's lots of treasures.
To learn more about the free spay and neuter program offered by Tales of Nye County, just give them a call.
If anybody needs help with spay and neuter services for their dogs and cats, they can call 702-306-3245. We are located at 520 East Street, the corner of East Street and Wilson, right behind Wells Fargo. And we are Suite B in the middle of the building.
When we come back, we'll talk about new recommendations for lung cancer screening, so stay with us.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force recently changed their recommendations for lung cancer screening, a move that could help save more lives.
Their update, just last month, lowered the age limit to 50 from 55 as a starting point, and lowered the amount of smoking from 30 pack years down to 20 pack years. So their current recommendations would be ages 50 to 80, 20 pack year smoking history, and you've smoked within the last 15 years.
Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Peter Mazzone says by lowering the age limit, the number of people eligible for screening would increase by 80 to 90%. But even though more individuals now qualify, he says they are still facing the challenge of getting them tested, and that's due to a couple of factors. For example, some may be hesitant for fears of finding out they're sick or they might not have insurance coverage. He says that's why it's so important to continue raising awareness.
I think the basic premise, what everyone needs to understand, is that early detection of lung cancer leads to the potential for cure, a much higher chance of curing the cancer if it's found earlier. So the opportunity to do that and preserve your life is really critical.
Currently, lung cancer screenings involve a low-dose CT scan, but Dr. Mazzone says research is underway to develop a blood test that could also be used.
It's Friday, which means it's time to meet another pet available for adoption from one of our local shelters. Darby O'Donnell is going to introduce us to Flex.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Flex. Flex is a 3-year-old American Staffordshire Terrier mix. He has really interesting coloring because he is mainly all white, but then he has little patches like on his face and throughout his body that are actually brindle color. Super cool looking. He has such a cute little personality, extremely friendly, has a very calm personality. He doesn't really jump up a lot or anything. They said that he was very interesting when he came in because when he sat down, he sploots out his back legs but keeps standing up on the front. It actually looks like he's doing the yoga pose, upward facing dog. He's just a little interesting little guy. He's very, very cute, has a very mellow personality. If you want to come and see Flex or any of his friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society, give them a call ahead of time to make an appointment, 775-751-7020, or you can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society. Here you go, Flex. Good boy.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, it's John Kohler staring out the KPVM weather window. We're staring at the Pahrump Valley Museum. They've got the Wild West Extravaganza event going on this weekend, setting up booths, things going on. Oh, it's going to be gorgeous weather for it. I'll tell you all about it here in a second.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. We're taking a look at the most beautiful day I've seen all week. Oh man, what a Friday. Heading into the weekend, looking good. Let's take a look at the weather around the state and in your neighborhood. Fernley, Fallon, you were pretty styling today, 89, 91 degrees. Carson City, Tonopah, and Goldfield, just a little bit cooler down in the mid-80s and high 80s. Beatty all the way up to 94. Amargosa and Las Vegas into the high 90s. Death Valley up to 110 degrees in here in the Paradise of Pahrump, where the air is pure, the grass is green, and the lawns are irrigated. Everyone's above average, and we're loving the 94-degree weather we're currently experiencing. Little clouds just give us a little bit of shade, and those winds are pretty kind at 10 miles per hour. 97 was our high today. Sun rose this morning to 5:51 a.m. Saw a sky full of balloons. Wasn't that fun? Excellent, excellent. 7:30 p.m. the sun will set this evening. That'll be lovely under those partly cloudy skies. You know we're going to get some blues and pinks and all kinds of great colors. Treasure it while you can, folks. The wind is coming. Check this out tomorrow. And for the next 3 days, actually, 20-mile-an-hour winds into the mid-20s for gusts. Oh, my gosh. It's going to be blowing off the temperatures and cooling it down just a little bit, which might give us a little break and some clouds. But nobody's talking about rain. We'll get a little break from the wind on Tuesday, and then the temperatures start creeping up, and the winds start creeping up again as we head on into the week. So maybe get a windbreaker, but enjoy this day. This is just wonderful on a Balloon Fest day. Loving it. Back to the desk. It's Missy and Deanna.
All right. You know what? All these things are happening. I love Sensky's joke about how when we come back, you know, full force here, because we have the Balloon Festival, the Little League, we have, of course, Wild West Extravaganza happening. But, you know, the Senior Center is going to open on Monday.
That's awesome.
And they're opening inside, so people can eat meals inside. So this is super exciting.
Everybody's
so if
getting
you're
back together, right?
Yeah. The gang is back. Yeah. So the Pahrump Senior Center is going to be opening on Monday. So everybody come on down, have your lunch down at the Senior Center right there at 1370 West Basin Avenue inside the Sunset Mobile Home Park. And we're super excited. But of course, we'll bring all that to them. And all the weekends events, we're going to have those all on Monday night as well. We hope you have a wonderful, really busy weekend. I'm Deanna.
I'm Missy. Thanks for watching. Be safe.
Good night.